I'm a bit hit or miss when it comes to sports movies, but there is a new sports movie hitting theaters this weekend that I was absolutely tickled by. That movie is GOAT. It's the latest from Sony Pictures Animations, the studio that brought you K-pop Demon Hunters, and it tells the story of Will, a young goat who achieves his dream of playing Rollerball. He's the first small to ever play Rollerball, and he gets to do it alongside his idol Jet Fillmore, and he sets out to prove once and for all that smalls can indeed ball. I think the biggest criticism of this movie is going to be that it feels like familiar or generic, and I do think it follows a very familiar path, as do all of these sports movies, right? It's a very typical underdog sports story. However, I'm okay with familiarity. I don't think familiar stories are inherently bad just because it is a well-trodden story arc. What I care about is the execution, and I do think GOAT takes that familiar story and puts it through a very unique lens. I kind of pitched this to someone as like Space Jam meets Zootopia, and I do think it elevates this underdog story into something very interesting as we tackle these layers of community and how sports bring people together, and also like this idea of legacy and knowing when to step away and allow the door to open for others. I think there's some very rich themes at play here, right? And it's brought to life in this very vibrant, detailed, rich world. The world we are in this movie is so interesting and dynamic and fun, and the animation style, this hybrid animation that Sony's been championing for quite some time now, really makes it pop and come alive. Also, these characters are amazing. They're so vibrant and fun, and the animation style really serves them. I really had a lot of fun with their animation style, with their characterization. We have a very stacked voice cast that is committed to giving us a character. They're not just like celebrities phoning it in the booth. Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things, he plays Will, and he carries this thing beautifully. I think he makes Will this like really fun, likable protagonist who has a lot of spirit and a lot of heart. Gabrielle Union is really great as Jet Fillmore. I think she plays really well into like this kind of wall she has built up, and she really taps into this idea of feeling like you're forced to give up your passion and your legacy. She grapples with that struggle very well. We've got Nicola Coughlan, Steph Curry, we've got Patton Oswalt. The cast is absolutely stacked. I also think this film maximizes animation to its benefit. It's exhilarating. Those games specifically are so fun to watch. Rollerball is essentially basketball, but like there's lava, there's ice, there's water, like there's all these elements thrown in, and it's violent and brutal. The animation really ups the ante and pulls you in. I was like at the edge of my seat for the big climactic game. I couldn't believe I was so locked in. I do think this movie has some pacing issues. It moves like very quickly. Sometimes it doesn't feel like we have a lot of room to breathe as we jump from beat to beat. And again, like it is predictable. I could see where it was going, but I don't think being predictable is necessarily a crime, especially because this movie is definitely geared toward a younger audience. I definitely think, unlike some other animated entries that feel like they are going for everyone, right? Like this is very much intended for younger people. I think families and people of all ages will enjoy it, but I do think it is honing in on younger folks. It's very silly, it's very goofy. I was laughing and beaming like an idiot throughout the runtime. I had a great time, and I think the kiddos love it. We don't get a lot of solid family centric entertainment. We see some movies do very well and are like, that grossed $1 bajillion, and it's because families don't have a lot of options. So the fact that they have an option that is quality is really exciting to me. And when I was exiting my theater, all the little kids were being goats. They were all like Will in the movie on the way out. Like they loved him, they loved the games, they thought it was funny, they were laughing, they were locked in. I was a little nervous going into the press screening because there were so many children there, and they were all like so locked in and quiet. Like I didn't have any issue with the children in there. Usually that's not the case, but I think that is such a testament to this movie. It captures its audience, it knows its audience, and it really pulls them in for a fun ride. And I think this is going to be a fun movie for this generation. You know, like I had Space Jam growing up, and I think like this could be like a new sports classic for this generation. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I really loved GOAT. I thought it was really endearing, really fun, really dynamic, and I hope it does well. Thank you so much for tuning into the review. Make sure you do all the things you're supposed to do with a YouTube video: like, comment, subscribe, share, follow me everywhere, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!